guys. Welcome. Welcome. Wait, can we hear himself? Let me know if you guys hear me, alright? It's gonna be Ghost Recon. What up, Drake? What up, Panthers? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. T-minus 5 minutes, bro. And we in, y'all. Thanks for coming in, guys. Appreciate it. Drake, Panthers, what's good? Bro, I cannot wait. I'm way too excited, bro. Bro, this is gonna be so damn high, bro. This is crazy. I can't wait, man. I'm just waiting for a countdown. We got 2 minutes left. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy, man. I'll be watching State of Play later, but I'm not expecting anything big. Yeah, no, me too, Panthers. I'm probably gonna make a video of State of Play as well afterwards. So, should have been watching and supporting as always. Thank you, Drake. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, bro. I've been waiting. Like, I've heard. Oh my gosh, I gotta sneeze or something. But I've been like, you know, keep it on the low, man. Like, I couldn't really say much because there's, you know, just an NDA that I signed, and I can't really say nothing. But after that, man, we can definitely talk about it after. But this is just like that, you guys know, that it's about to hit, guys. It's gonna be real good, man. Like, damn, I can't wait, man. This is crazy. But what up, Tezzy T? What's up, man? What is up? What is up? We're just waiting around for others to join up. I don't know what this new game will be chopping now. Probably October or something, but who knows? It could be earlier. They can give us a huge surprise and let us know, hey, it's available next week. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? That's all we need. 36 seconds, man. Oh, smack. It's going down, bro. Oh, hold up. Y'all hear that? We just heard something crazy, bro. We just heard it. Oh, man. 9 seconds. Oh, snap. Here we go. There we go, guys. Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready? Here we go.
Welcome to Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon, the franchise that pioneered the genre. In 2001, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon defines the squad-based military shooter genre with realistic and challenging gameplay. As a powerful sequel, Ghost Recon 2 introduces a dynamic third-person and supports 16 players and enhanced multiplayer modes. Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter improves the focus on team coordination and features military prototype equipment and weapons. 1 year later, Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter
Can you guys redouble?
delivers a deeply immersive campaign,
Oh my gosh.
With the ability to command supporting units.
Yeah.
In 2012, Ghost Recon Future Soldier makes the shift to exhilarating cover-based gameplay with the inclusion of the sync gunsmith and adaptive camouflage technology.
These like all the old school stuff, man. I remember these games, bro.
2017, Ghost Recon Wildlands leads a tactical shooter into a breathtaking world experience to explore either solo or player co-op, as well as an attack 4v4 PvP mode in Ghost War. And now, the future of Ghost Recon.
All right. Let's go.
Hey everyone. My name's Emil Dalbon. I'm a U.S. Army Green Beret.
You hear echo, bro?
I've served with Special Forces for 14 years. Deployed all over the world. I'm also very proud to be a writer on a new Ghost Recon game. Being part of the Ubisoft team has been an incredible journey for me. And we are so excited to share with you our community, an experience that is going to bring players closer to real special operations missions than ever before.
When we launched Wildlands, we released an action-packed open world military shooter that can be played solo and up to four player co-op from beginning to end. We're completely blown away by your response. We are so grateful to our community that has grown to more than 15 million players. It's an honor. The stakes are high. Today, we're super excited to introduce a brand new Ghost Recon game to you. So let's get to it.
Our story begins on a remote island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean called Aroa.
You guys see the echo? Good now?
The mythical golem was imagined as an artificial intelligence designed to serve and protect. The myth is now a reality.
This self-driving vehicle crossed the entire United States without a human touching the wheel.
The computer was creative. It outsmarted me every step of the way.
Okay, cool. Thanks, dude.
Entrepreneur, visionary, genius. Jay Skell is planning to change the world.
Good?
This is our first deployment of lethal drones. They have already saved countless U.S. lives.
From our new headquarters on Aurora Archipelago, Skell Technology will, quite simply, build the future. Skell-Tech drones will enhance industries across the globe. They will eliminate food shortages, heal the sick, and in time, erase poverty.
Mr. Skell, critics claim that with new autonomous systems, we risk summoning the devil. What do you say to that?
We combine AI and machinery to serve humanity peacefully. I am personally dedicated to
Oh, alright, let's see.
Scary. Machines that can act together and react faster than humans.
They're cheaper and more efficient than any other measure. There's no doubt that swarm surveillance systems will reduce crime on our streets.
Would Mr. Skell care to comment on the recent assassination of a political candidate by a lethal drone?
Mr. Skell has no comment at this time.
Oh man, we got something's happening here, bro.
Lethal, autonomous weapons are being developed and deployed without oversight or limitations. They are the next global threat. The UN must vote to enact sanctions on the spread of these weapons. We must act now.
We've lost contact with Aroa. No way to reach Jake Skell. Yes, sir, I understand the risk level. We're sending them in.
The Ghosts are elite spec ops soldiers. The best of the best. But just how far can you push the Ghosts? How strong are they? How much can they take before they break?
A breakpoint is a forced posture change.
Okay.
Shift from attack to defend. From defend to withdraw. From recon to survive. It is the moment when a unit has lost its combat effectiveness. When it is no longer able to fight. The onset of this inability to carry out a mission constitutes a breakpoint.
Hey, yo, there it is. Oh shit.
This is Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Oh my god.
In the past, the Ghost had a plan.
Man.
What if this time there was no briefing? What if this time the enemy expected them?
Let's start at the beginning of Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Your call sign is Nomad, a ghost sent to Aurora. You have been sent there for what seems to be a usual mission. But this is far from what is about to happen.
The graphics, bro.
From this point on, all of your military survival skills will be put to the test. As you make your way through this mysterious island, you will discover the majesty, the beauty and diversity of this brand new open world. From snowy peaks to sandy beaches, jungles, deserts, fjords, even a volcano.
Oh my God.
But you're not on a roa to sightsee. Nestled in a beautiful archipelago and driven by the singular vision of accomplished engineer Jay Skell, they develop AI and autonomous drones.
Skell's mission is to make the world a better place. But the road to hell is paved with good intentions. In the wrong hands, Aurora could turn into the most dangerous place on Earth. And it does. On Aurora, you are no longer the hunter. You are the hunted. And even worse, the hunters are a unit of elite spec ops soldiers gone rogue. They have the same training as you, the same experience. And they call themselves the Wolves. And they have taken over the island.
The Wolves are the most formidable opponents the Ghosts have ever had to face. Not only have they taken over Aurora, they've also reprogrammed Skell's drones to become powerful killing machines.
You're lost behind enemy lines. And your enemy is powerful and merciless.
So, Ghosts, can you survive your breakpoint?
Oh my God, we got, oh okay. Be quiet.
Ghost 1-1, this is Ghost Lead. I'm 2 mics out your location, but I got something bad's on my ass. Rally on me to eliminate the threat.
Copy, Ghost Lead. I'm en route to the RP. Time now. cover. There's an Asriel drone overhead.
Copy that. Got it.
Ghost Lead, this is Ghost 1-2. We're en route to your location.
Okay.
I got eyes on you, Ghost Lead.
Copy. I see you.
You got 3 bad guys closing from the rear.
Nothing to report. I'm gonna continue my search. Reconning for location.
You have hostile to my right.
Copy. On target.
Ghost Lead, we're set.
I'm bringing the fight to you. Be ready. Get set, guys! Good cover. Bravo team will set a diversion at the gate. Me and 1-1 will infill the camp through the rear.
Copy.
I got 2 armed hostiles here.
I got right.
3, 2, 1.
Push up.
Nothing ever happens around here.
Set. I have the drone. Drone's out.
Ghost lead. We're set.
Let's move quick and quiet.
Where the hell are they?
Bravo team. You have hostiles inbound your location. What the fuck is that?
Stop them in their tracks!
Hold in place. We're almost there.
What the hell are you doing? No. I don't want to talk to them. Why are they doing this? Get them, goddammit! Hey, you! Eat this!
He's hit. I got you.
I have you covered.
Hostile down.
Everything you saw in this walkthrough was made possible thanks to one thing: experience. 7 years ago, we started Wildlands with a team of 30. We now have more than 1,000 developers focused on Ghost Recon.
Right,
in the past 2 years alone, we've released 19 title updates. Breakpoint is bigger and better than anything we've done before.
This new game puts you in the boots of an elite special operations soldier. And on Aroa, you'll need every bit of your training and experience to survive.
The terrain has a real impact on your gameplay. It can be your enemy or your ally. You'll have to cross bodies of water and climb. Slopes will make you slide and tumble.
But you'll have the agility and new skills. With the prone camo feature, you can truly blend into your environment, using your surroundings to escape or surprise your enemies.
And to make the experience more immersive and intense, players can also suffer serious injuries. And depending on the gravity of the wound, players will need to adapt. Can they still aim their rifle? Can they run and escape?
Fortunately, you will also be able to heal yourself, either on the spot or in the brand new bivouac. The bivouac feature will allow players to rest and refit in the wilderness with their squad and do what real special operations soldiers do.
You'll have a wide variety of tools at your disposal. You'll be able to cut through fences, unlock a drone that will allow you to sync-shot several targets, even in solo, or use a rocket launcher to take down enemies.
But survival isn't only about fighting. It's also about stealth. You can pick up and hide the body of an enemy to remain undetected. Or move your fellow wounded ghosts to safety.
That's what I've been wanting, dude. I've been wanting that.
Finally, you'll be able to play as multiple classes, and will be able to change class at any time from the bivouac. 4 different classes will be available at launch, with more to come.
The thinking behind many of these gameplay mechanics came from you, our community. Let's hear about how Ghost Recon Breakpoint has been inspired by your feedback.
You have been our secret weapon in taking Ghost Recon to a whole new level. First, Ghost Recon Breakpoint will feature a new main story with hundreds of cutscenes, dialogue choices, and more characters for you to discover.
The variety of enemies you'll face will keep things interesting, to say the least. There are many enemy archetypes with different abilities and weapons, and they're dangerous, like this armored behemoth that'll take strength and precision to take down.
Enemy behavior has also evolved. If you get spotted, or if they become suspicious, your enemies will now coordinate together to take you on.
Enemies will now always be on patrol throughout the world. A constant reminder that in Ghost Recon Breakpoint, you're the prey.
And to take them on, you'll now have fan favorites and all new weapons at your disposal.
The gunsmith will give you access to a ton of different attachments that'll have a lot more impact on weapon statistics and performance.
And you'll have even more options for character customization. And yes, this does include bloused boots.
You'll be able to explore Aroa on-road and off, by air and by sea.
And there'll be more military vehicles to traverse this new world.
Want to go fast? Take a Falcon. Want to plow through the jungle? Take a Fat Boy. Want to fight the wolves? Try a Locust.
Exactly, dude.
Of course, Ghost Recon Breakpoint is fully playable in solo and up to 4-player co-op. And we are happy to announce that PvP will be available at launch for all players. But that's not all. You'll keep the same character throughout your whole experience in Breakpoint. This means you keep the same customization, the same skills, the same weapons, the same progression across the entire game. And this is just the beginning. Every 4 months after launch, we'll release a new major expansion episode to the game. It'll include the very first raid in a Ghost Recon game. Here's a taste of what's to come.
Let's go, let's go.
of people put tons of passion into the making of this game.
But we could not have done it without you, our community.
And so it is our pleasure to present to you our world premiere.
Our announced trailer for Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Here we go, here we go.
Soldier. Trained to strike my enemies before they know I exist. Death stalks me, but I survive. Overcoming any obstacle. Never surrendering. And with my brothers and sisters at my side, there is no fight we fear. So when you take the life of my brothers, when you provoke me, it doesn't matter how powerful you are, I will burn your world to the ground. I'm a ghost too. I would expect nothing less.
Ghost Recon Breakpoint is here, so strap on your boots because you have a mission. Stay tuned to hear more, live from our studio. We'll be there to answer your questions.
We can pre-order this now? Hold on. Wait, we can pre-order now. Wait. So we can pre-order this now. Let's see.
Hey guys, welcome to the Ghost Recon Breakpoint announcement post-show live stream from the Paris studio. My name is Grace. I'm one of your community developers on Ghost Recon, and I am joined here by two of our fantastic developers. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves and what you do on Ghost Recon?
Hello, I'm Matthew Tompkinson, and I'm Director of User Experience and Realization. So when we talk about user experience, I'm in charge of making sure that the game is easy to learn, even if it's hard to master. And for the realization part, it's more about the cinematic aspects of the game and making sure the full game feels cinematic.
Because then I'll be
I'm Joe Gingras. I'm part of the game design realization team. In a nutshell, we're sort of the visual partners of game design. We provide with the visual support that is then going to be able to convey the vision for the different game features. So concept art, storyboards, sometimes could be schematics, video reference. And we're also in charge of the documentation or the reference material of authenticity.
I hope it doesn't come
so
out the same day or a week
spend
before.
time with spec ops and essentially document what we're going to be discussing with them, whether we're going to bounce ideas or mimic scenarios, and then we're going to film them, photograph them, talk about equipment, tactics, and techniques. And in a nutshell, yeah, that's what we do.
So you make sure everything feels good, feels like the authentic spec ops experience.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, in the chat, if you guys are on the Ghost Recon Twitch chat, you can type your questions in. We'll do our best to get to as many as possible near the end of the stream. So make sure that you are active there. We will also have a giveaway. We will have copies of Ghost Recon Wildlands, but these ones are special because, oh boy, we have signed copies. These are signed by the man, the myth, the legend, John Bernthal, who plays Cole Walker, who you guys just saw. And it's also signed by the actor who plays Jay Skell and the male Nomad. So we'll have the giveaway towards the end of the stream, so make sure you stay tuned for that. And we will let you know when that is starting. So before we dive into some more topics in depth, why don't we do a quick recap of what we just saw in the video. We did see a lot, so I'll do my best to give a summary. Yes. So we saw there was a new mysterious open world in the archipelago of Aroa. There's going to be a new set of gameplay mechanics. We'll have stuff that really accentuates the military survival experience. We'll have fatigue and slopes, injuries, bivouac, terrain impact, prone camo. You'll be able to carry bodies now, which is very cool, and much more. As this Ghost Recon, you will be able to create and customize your ghosts. And also a very cool announcement is that you'll be able to keep your skills and weapons throughout your entire experience in Ghost Recon Breakpoint. So throughout PvE and PvP, you will have shared progression, and the PvP is included at launch this time.
Missions and all kinds of stuff.
And of course, you will also be able to customize your experience. So you'll be able to play co-op, you'll be able to play solo, and PvP at any difficulty.
Wait, you guys can hear me, right?
That this game is for everyone.
I don't know if you guys.
We'll also have a full post-launch plan with a lot of surprises to come. We won't be able to get too much into it today, but rest assured we'll have more information soon. And it will release on October 4th worldwide on
What up, Crimer? What's up, man?
And PC.
Bro, you missed it, man. You missed it.
Into Breakpoint, I think this is a good time to talk
Bro, that
about
was
Ghost Recon
crazy.
Wildlands, since we just released a prologue mission for Ghost Recon Breakpoint for free for our players.
Oh, you're working?
You will be able
yeah,
to
bro, it was
see
crazy,
sort of
man.
how these games tying together, and
that was
I feel like it's
insane.
very important for the team to sort of create this emotional and
We're
sort of
supposed to be
gameplay
working.
journey that players are looking
And you're not working, right?
Can you explain a little bit more about why that was important?
Yeah. So when we thought of the main antagonist for Ghost Recon Breakpoint, we knew that we wanted the players to fight his brother-in-arms, a former ghost. And we felt that it wouldn't be enough just to like put it at the beginning of the story and you discover
it's okay, he missed
really
it. He's
wanted
working,
the
he
players
would have
to
had
feel this moment of brotherhood with him, and that's why we introduced him in Oracle, so that you could play alongside him. And then, when you start the game of Breakpoint, you feel the betrayal even more. And the thing is that we also wanted a very smooth transition. We still have a huge number of players.
Need to smoke a break.
And we want them to have a gap from Wildlands to Breakpoint.
So yeah, after seeing that trailer at the very end of what we just saw, having played the prologue now.
So tactical, what do you play? What kind of games do you play?
So if you guys have not played it yet, make sure that you go and do so. And speaking of, while you're doing that, we also have the Ghost Recon Rewards program. So just by playing Ghost Recon Wildlands, you will be able to earn some really cool rewards that will be available day one in Breakpoint. So you get some unique items and customization for playing through the campaign, like beating El Sueño, some based on our thematic Year 2 special operations, for playing Ghost War, and then for beating some of our endgame content like Ghost Mode. So
yeah, that'd be
not only
pretty
will you
cool.
get these exclusive items, but you will also
Also
be
GTA?
able to maybe hear some references
Okay,
to
well,
your
we're gonna have to play
exploits,
sometime then for sure.
through some in-game dialogue in Breakpoint.
Yes.
So let's get into the good stuff. Let's get into Breakpoint. Let's talk about sort of the military survival behind enemy lines. You know, what tools are at your disposal, what resources you'll have, and how you can use these to your advantage. So we know our players love to have a lot of different options in how they approach the mission. You can run in guns blazing if you want to do that. You can crash through the front door, or you can try a little bit more of a stealthy approach. So I'd like to start with that one because I know it's definitely a favorite of our community. They like to be sneaky in how they approach the enemy camps. Can we talk a little bit more about
Extreme
the
Star
different features that we
Metal.
share that
What's
will
up, man?
help,
What's good, bro?
elevate the stealth gameplay?
What up?
Yeah, let's talk about at least 3 of them.
Okay.
Well, we got the
Bro,
carry
that was
mode,
crazy. I
allows you
can't wait to get my hands on this
pick up a
game.
body and carry it elsewhere. And so, for example, you could pick up an enemy that you've killed silently and bring him to a more hidden area, and allowing you to continue your stealth streak undetected. You could also pick up a downed teammate and be the hero of the situation and bring him to safety, heal him, and then come back to fight. There's also the
That's
Pro General,
pretty dope, man.
very popular item, I should say, that allows you to blend in the environment. Part of the beginning of this idea was the image that we saw of the hero in the Predator movie covering himself with mud and then going undetected by the enemy. So we sat down with our spec up consultants and tried to come up with
I like that,
something
man.
would be our version of that. So we essentially studied what the urban
There's some
drone
good stuff
mission
they're adding to the game, man.
will bring us, and then also covering ourselves with the terrain. And so in the end, in the game, you can cover yourself with sand, mud, snow, leaves, and so on, and essentially disappear to your enemy. And this is a feature that's available. It's a skill that you have from the beginning of the game that you can use at will, depending on the terrain where you're at. And it also helps you to either escape or surprise your enemies.
Sounds like you can set up some really cool scenarios there if you are able to plan enough.
Yeah, it's really cool to study your enemy in the shadows. And there's the third item, which would be the breaching kit.
Yay.
And the breaching kit, you know, with that, finally the ghosts are not fenced off anymore. They can
You know what I would like them to do? Oh, this is nice. Fence breaching. That's something that we
also allows your co-op teammates to follow
I would love to use that during missions like this.
So I can
But you know what I think I do want to
hard,
see?
dangerous work, and then I can follow through after once you've sort of cleared it up.
Yes.
Very good.
It's an unlockable item, so I mean,
I want to see
Well, I will count on
2
you.
handguns, bro.
I will be there for you, Grace.
2 handguns.
So let's say
2 dual.
maybe you mess up your approach a little bit.
That's what I
Again,
wanna see,
has
bro.
Never happened to me. I've never messed up once. Joe, I know, has.
Every
some
one gun's
trouble
cool, but I want to
sometimes.
have
It's okay.
duels.
It happens to most of us. And let's say that they're a little bit more prepared than you anticipated. We saw during the show that there was going to be some pretty cool changes to the enemies in Breakpoint.
Did you guys know that people are already rating this game? And it's not even out
So
yet.
we
People are like rating a
reveal
5,
few more
10,
over the summer,
or
but
4,
we already
10.
talked about 3 of the main enemy archetypes during the announcement. Maybe we can touch on those 3 a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, working
Like
on the
seriously,
games,
like people
there
are so
also,
stupid nowadays. Like
PMC, private military contractors that have been hired to take care of the
Wow, that's
security of
crazy.
the island. And so what we saw, there are 3 different archetypes, new archetypes that we like to talk about today. So there's the rocket gunner. So his role in terms of gameplay is to challenge the player at long distance. It
Wait a minute,
forces
how
them
much?
To stay on the move.
How much is this game?
Explosive attacks with cascade effects. So it could be similar to a sniper, that except that now it's not a bullet going at you, it's a rocket. So
That's a
area of
huge-
effect, it means that if you are behind
That
a big
is
cover,
huge,
you have to
damn.
move and change your strategy on the fly. And the cool thing also is that their ammo backpack that you can see on the image is a weak point for it. So it's a cool thing to aim for. We also have the Breacher, and again the Breacher pushes the player to change his strategy. It's an archetype of an enemy that goes towards you and that tries to attack you at close distance, and is equipped with a shotgun, and he uses also flash grenades to suppress the player. So you can't let them get close. You have to react. Either shoot him first, or you have to move again.
Flash grenades plus shotgun sounds like a very deadly combination.
That can be
cocktail.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And my favorite is the heavy. So it's really a heavy, it's a armored bear.
Damn, look at that jug, bro.
You have to learn to fear.
That jug is huge.
For his head, because if you try to aim for his body, it's super protected, and you really have to be super precise about him. And the fact that he owns a minigun and that he can shoot at you, he controls totally the battlefield. And you have to wait until you have a key opportunity to shoot at him. Or you can also try and co-op. You can take the aggro, and myself, I can try to flank him and shoot him while he's shooting at you, for example.
Well, thank you.
So you send Joe in to die, and then you sort of clean
That's
up the
usually our strategy when we play together with Joe.
I would love to see
Either
some
he
footage
stays
of
in
this.
the back or he goes at the sniper, or he goes at the front and to create
rest in
a
peace.
diversion.
Your service is honored. So during the show, they mentioned that the enemies will start working together to take you down. Can you explain a little bit more about how that's going to work?
Yeah, well, we made the AI evolve to provide a better stealth experience. So, if an enemy becomes suspicious, depending on the risk of the situation, either they will choose to stalk you at your last known position, or they might send out a radio call to call.
So you can actually pre-order now, guys, and
a very short time frame to
you guarantee to beta access, early access for the game.
Very messy, and you're overwhelmed with all the reinforcement. The other thing is that last known position is handled very more realistically than before. The enemies really need to investigate to know where you are. So let's say like we are in a situation where you attack them and they noticed you, you really will see all the enemies go towards you to try to attack you, and they will have to find your last known position, and myself, I can try to flank them.
So it sounds like it might be a good opportunity to cover up with some mud and get into some prone camo, maybe set up a situation.
For you, it can be a good solution.
Or even hide in the bushes, because this is what I really like. They don't magically know where you are. They have to find you in order to shoot you. So it's good.
So let's say that they do shoot you and you messed up and you do get hit.
It happens to you.
Sometimes.
Frequently. We saw in the presentation that there are going to be a lot of cool mechanics that kick in to really amp up that military survival experience. Can you explain a little bit more about how the wound tiers work?
Yes. Well, there's multiple tiers of wounds or injuries that you can get. And essentially, on the first tier, well, first of all, there's injuries and health damage. But let's talk about injuries first. So your first tier of injury gets your ghost limping occasionally, and he gets his stamina reduced. Second tier, your ghost limps heavily and starts bleeding, and the aiming is going to start to become really difficult. On the third tier, your ghost essentially stops running altogether and is stumbling and limping, and he's doing all that with only his handgun to protect himself.
So how do you heal up? How do you get your ghost back into fighting shape?
Well, you can pick up items in the game, and for example, injuries, well, you'll heal yourself through bandages, and for anything that has to do with health damages, you'll use the syringe.
So we know that ghosts can get hit, but they always have a way to fight back, and now we have a whole new set of CQC finishers, which I'm very excited about because they look badass and you feel so cool when you see that animation go off. So Joe, I know you worked a lot on those animations and making sure they felt real. Could you give us a little bit more detail on how that new system works?
Yes, well, we've worked with our Spec Op consultants as victims. They showed us how this worked.
This sounds very good.
Yes,
do you have footage of this?
Well, we have. I can show you later.
Thank you.
We won't show it now, but yeah, well, essentially, and they also are the ones that trained our stunt actors that then performed the CQCs. So the players get a slot where they can equip a melee weapon. So
what's up, guys? So what do you guys think?
A fixed blade or a karambit. And depending on which one.
That headbutt was crazy, and she looks like Lara Croft.
Cool. So it sounds like
She
with
freaking
different
looks
animation
just
sets,
like-
maybe there's some different sort of things that you can do to set up a different animation? So like depending on where your ghost is or what the environment is at that point. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Correct. Whether you're in stealth or in active combat, if you approach the target from the back or the front, or on slopes, or if you spring out of a bush or from prone camo, are all going to play different animation sets.
Cool. So can you customize your melee weapon?
Yes, you can customize your
Those are good. I like the limping if you get shot.
See it in those
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen either game that does that actually.
Different skins that are going to be available to put on either.
So I think it's really good that they actually did stuff like that.
And those customizations will allow you to fit it with your ghost attire.
So do you have a preference? You more of a fixed blade or a karambit sort of a person?
You're wanting us to 733.
More of a survival
And
guy,
nobody still has it, right?
Okay, cool. Matthew?
Myself, since I love cooking, I would love to have like a cooking knife. I'm more into knives than karambit, but I don't promise that it will be available in the game, the cooking knife.
Well, I like the party knife, which is what I call the karambit.
The party knife. Oh, well. What kind of party do you throw?
Listen, I don't want to get into it right now. That's for the post show.
All right.
So we've talked a lot about who you're fighting against, but not who you're fighting with yet. Breakpoint will be
Someone's
fully
sparring up
playable
the game
in co-op up to 4 players. But what does the game look like for people who want to play it solo?
Yeah, definitely, dude.
Well,
they definitely did that for sure.
Give the players the full possibility to choose to choose how they want to play. So of course you can play.
Can we fish or hunt? Oh, that'd be pretty cool if we actually can like fish.
But you can also play
or
as
hunt.
a solo operative, and we wanted
to, as a part of surviving in the jungle.
Here, so that's really the idea. Here we don't have AI teammates. It's up to you. Either you just choose to play alone behind enemy lines, and you raise from the ashes, and you fight your enemy, or you can play with your friends, with up to 3 friends.
So one of the features that I know was very well liked in WildLives was the sync shot. Are they still going to be able to do that if they're playing solo?
That's one of my favorite things, also the sync shot, and we really wanted to keep it in the game, so we decided to make it even cooler. So as you've seen in the video, you can use some mini lethal drones that you deploy. You mark enemies, up to 3 enemies, and then you aim yourself, and you can shoot up to 4 targets at the same moment, and that's super cool.
Very cool. So what happens if you go down and you're playing solo?
Now you will have to rely on yourself. That's also the reason why we've introduced injuries, so you have warnings before you die, but then you don't have AI teammates to come and save you. If you want teammates to save you, they have to be human.
Okay, gotcha. So get some friends together.
Friends or suffer.
So we've spoken about how important it is to create this customized experience, and a huge part of that in Breakpoint are going to be the classes that are available in both PvE and PvP. So we will have 4 available at launch, but we went through 2 of them during the stream, the Sharpshooter and the Panther. Could you guys maybe explain a little bit more about those 2?
Yes, well, for all the sniper players out there, the Sharpshooter is the class to go for. It's skillful, deadly, and the Sharpshooter can load up to 3 bullets, special bullets, that deal extra damage and to the enemies, and then he can also hold his breath longer, giving you.
He has to hold his breath longer. What?
And he's also faster on the reload.
That is cool, dude.
The long-range weapons.
Cool. And the Panther, master of infiltration?
Absolutely. That's my favorite, playing as a Panther. So still, stealth is really still very important in the game, and you want to be able to infiltrate stealthily. And when you play the Panther, you can quickly engage at close range, and you can retreat back to stealth anytime you want. So it's really, you come out of the shadows and you go back to the shadows. And now the Panthers, they have a smoke bomb that if anything goes bad, they can use this smoke bomb to vanish, disappear, and become invisible from the enemies for a few seconds. And then it gives you an opportunity to counterattack or just
shadow poker
or run away if
it's a legitimate strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. So Panthers, I have to admit, they don't have access to loud or heavy weapons, but it compensates
Well, that's
by
awesome.
they are harder to detect.
Ghost Recon just tweeted me.
They have no damage reduction when they're using suppressors.
Very good.
So it really makes a difference when you want to play stealthy. Going for a Panther is the way to go.
Mm-hmm. So once you picked your class, are you locked in?
Not permanently. You can always switch classes to bivouac.
So what? This bivouac you speak of, what else can you do at it?
Well, bivouac is a safe place to rest and to prepare for battle. And when you speak with Spec Ops, I mean, one thing that comes
So
up
who else is getting it that's in here?
The attack part of an operation.
Crown, are you getting it for Xbox, right?
What really happens or goes down.
Or are you getting it for PS4?
About planning, walking, waiting, recon, more waiting, and then eventually attack. It's a very short.
See, we have people in here, but notifications are so bad on this channel. I don't know why YouTube's just like lost with everything. Like notifications are so terrible on here.
You'll find those bivouacs spread across all the islands of Aurora, and you can either go and try to find them yourself, or you can come across characters in the game that will give you hints as to where they are and how to find them. But once you're at the bivouac, you can heal yourself. You can switch classes, and you can do many other things. You and, of course, your co-op teammates with you.
Yeah, there are different ideas that we wanted to come up with the bivouac, and we wanted a moment of respite for the players to be able to strategize, plan for the next attack. And as we said, we can choose the different classes for each of us. And it's not like we are having a class that we have to decide at the beginning of the game and then we have to stick with it. You still keep lots of progression for your character, and some of the progression is linked to your class. But if we were playing the three of us, we can decide to play three different classes according to what you want. So even if I'm usually playing a Panther and yourself also you're playing it, we can decide who could be a Sharpshooter, or we could go being all the three of us Panthers. It's really up to the players to choose the combination they want to create.
Triple Panther.
Triple Panther.
You know, a good thing they don't have a battle royale on this, man. That's what I was hoping they wouldn't have, because
even myself,
we got way too many of those. And I just can't see Ghost Recon having a.
We have to try it.
Yes. So all of this sounds like
Battle
you're
Royale.
for some pretty intense combat scenarios, and I know the dev team has taken a lot of care to really find a good balance between immersion with this military survival Spec Ops experience and also fun. So can you expand a little bit more on how we're making sure that balance is felt in the
All right, Grandma, thanks for popping in, bro. Appreciate that.
With Breakpoint, we are putting
Appreciate it, bro.
The mightiest enemies the Ghost has ever encountered. It's themselves. Like the wolves were from a ghost. So
Hey, if you're good, give me Nah, I'm good, bro. You keep your 500 pounds. Dabbing is like back in 2017. I don't do that. But,
for everyone. Every player
you know, if you want to support, you can if you want to.
We have
You know, another way of supporting as well.
To choose what fits best for you. So if you want a hardcore challenge, and I know you like it,
Grace level. It's official.
Yeah, I'm good, bro. Keep your money, man. You're good.
Please do.
I don't do those dab stuff, man.
That's even better. So yeah, you can choose to have a very hardcore experience, and if you wanted to have something a bit more laid back with easier difficulty, it's still possible.
I'm good, bro.
And
the Joe Show.
Why not? We're coming up with good names.
Do the floss. Nah, bro, I'm good.
But the good thing
Like I
is
said,
that
you can
even
support
if the three of us decide to play with three different difficulties or four different
whichever you want, but I won't do any of those things.
We really want players to
I'm
be
too
able
lit for
to
those,
play
bro.
the way they want, and we
I'm too
don't
lit for
want
that.
them to not be able to play all together.
So it really sounds like you can make this the experience that you want to have.
Welcome to the stream. You're more than welcome to subscribe, man. But
I've got a great amount of skill, but should I want to relax and take something a little bit easier, then if I should want to, I could play it on an easier setting. Not that I would though, because hardcore, you know.
Honor.
Nobody will know, don't worry.
Thanks. So we've covered a lot of the military survival features that will be in Breakpoint, but let's move on to the story and the setting. So there have been some hints laid out in the last few updates of Ghost Recon Wildlands, especially in the most recent one with Operation Oracle. We've seen the name J. Skell.
okay, do I like Ghost Recon? This is a game that I'm getting.
Who is he? Who is J. Skell, and what is his deal?
So what can I say about J. Skell without
Can't wait to get this game, man.
too much? He's a tech genius. if you've played Ghost Recon Wildlands, you've seen some hints about his inventions in actions. He's a really interesting figure because he's both
it's pretty cool, right?
power, money, and he has enough to do incredible things. Like if he wants to create the world of tomorrow, that's what he actually does. He just buys a full archipelago in the Pacific Ocean, and he puts all of his company's skills to develop what would be the world of tomorrow here and bring all the families, all the facilities for them. And this character at the same moment has a sense of naivety and hope that I really like. The idea is that he wants to use this tech to help the world.
And I'm sure that ends very well.
I don't play Roblox, bro.
I watched the trailer. I did. So his tech is being used, perhaps by not the nicest people. So we've met Walker before in Operation Oracle, and now we're seeing him a little bit more differently than what we've seen before. Can we talk a little bit about him without spoiling too much?
Yeah. So if it wasn't clear, Cole D. Walker is next Ghost. You've worked closely with him, and he's a very compelling character with lots of nuance. And what we wanted to do is to allow the players to spend time with him when he was on the other side, before.
Thanks, dude. If you did, thanks. Appreciate it.
As an antagonist. And we knew that John Bartle would be a great fit for him. We've seen his movies, we've seen his shows, we've seen how much of badass spec ops he can be, and we felt that it would be the perfect fit for.
I had to find his channel, by the way.
And the thing is that from what you will understand through Operation Oracle, where he's coming from, but he has crossed a line that you're not ready to accept.
I gotta make a video after this.
Black and white, and he's not super evil. He has a very different stance on the situation than you do.
I'll check your channel out.
It makes you
check it out.
His target, and you're going to make him your target, and it's going to hurt. And I can tell you just that he's willing to do whatever it takes to keep his hold on Orowa.
Yeah, he's after watching the trailer now and having played Operation Oracle, it's
no, I just go to your channel myself. I'll just go to myself. I don't click links.
It will add some context to what happened in the trailer, but since we can't talk about it too much,
but man, there's a lot of stuff that's actually come to the game, man. It's crazy.
So of course, when you play the game, you'll get to learn much more, but we might come with a bit more details at E3.
E3, okay. You guys heard it here.
E3, what?
June 10th.
June 10th, Monday. Tune in. So we've talked about the people, so let's talk a little bit more about the place. What we've seen so far of Aroa, it's this vast, beautiful landscape. It's got a lot of diversity. Joe, could you talk a little bit more about where Breakpoint is set?
Yes, so your archipelago, it's set in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And it's this place where the most advanced architectural buildings meet with the wildest and most untamed nature. And to start off, the main island of Aroa itself is as big as the full map of Wildlands at launch. So although Aroa is fictional, it's inspired by the real world references. And so the team wanted to combine reality with a bit of fantastical. And so we used the actual inspiration of the Pacific Ocean islands with their dramatic terrain to create this extreme terrain that we're going to be exploring through the game.
We actually had lots of fun to create this fictional island, and we worked with consultants to imagine what would be the world of tomorrow. And the whole island has its own logic. It's self-sustainable.
I'm not clicking the link, bro.
Has reasons to be in the island. And I think that players will enjoy seeing how much details we've put in.
Yeah, the logic between the different elements and how everything comes together, the different operations that you have to do. It's really good.
And since it isn't necessarily a real place, though it is based on a lot of real-world references, we have the freedom to maybe play with it a little bit more, potentially in the post-launch.
Gives us more flexibility to expand and grow in the post-launch. Yeah, add islands and whatnot. Even as you were saying, if you look at the map at the beginning, you can kind of see a few hints of where that's going.
A few hints.
This new game's gonna be wild,
so
dude.
We saw a couple different sort of settings and biomes during the presentation. We saw snow, we saw jungle, we saw some lava. So how are players going to get around this massive world of Aroa?
Well, there's multiple selection of vehicles. The Ghosts can reach their objectives via either air, land, or sea. And there's going to be a greater variety of military vehicles now.
Very cool. So Aurora is where the PvE happens, but where does the PvP happen?
Well, actually, the PvP also happens in Aurora. So the places that you'll get to visit in PvE, there will be for some.
You like my videos? Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thanks.
It's two different game modes, but it will be.
Appreciate it. Who else is here besides As them
so
videos?
That obviously comes into the shared progression that we announced between the PvE and PvP modes. Could you talk a little bit more about how that actually works?
Well, we are really about. We wanted the players to be able to play.
Yo, but this man. So there's like a couple things that I like about it.
We'll have a few hours.
Story, the way they made the.
Co-op, if you want. If you wanted to focus yourself on the game, either for progressing or
it's the story, the way we see the dude like dragging his leg like he's injured.
But if you
they added that, which is pretty cool. I love it, man. It's pretty dope. And then there's the whole stealth kill.
It's something that you
like the whole. Oh my god, there's so much stuff that they added.
Time compared to the progression that you're
gotta love it, man.
PvE. Or if you spend time in the PvE, you might consider, okay, but I want to be fast and I want to be first on PvP. So that's the reason why we decided to go for shared progression. All your customization will be available in both modes. So the way all your gear, all your weapons, the skills that you unlock, all of that will be available.
All right, bro, you are.
So when can
you're spamming in the chat, dude?
Expect to hear a little bit more about PvP.
So what's great is that the PvP
Let's not do that.
will be this time at launch.
Yeah,
all right.
We did it.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you'll be able to learn more about PvP at Gamescom.
August.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll have more about PvP in August at Gamescom. So we've talked about sort of the launch of Ghost Recon Breakpoint, but I think we should touch a little bit more on the post-launch aspect of it. There will be obviously a raid, which is very cool, so that's something entirely new to Ghost Recon. We will have a year one for Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which will contain 3 episodes, and there will be...
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah,
roadmaps.
We got the roadmap on there, so you can see, generally
That's
speaking,
in 2020.
Episode 1 will start right at launch. We can't share too many details about that right now, but one of the things we really understood from our community is that you guys want a lot of content to engage with frequently. And so we very much have that on top of mind, that we want to give our players something fresh, something exciting to engage with all throughout year one. So we aim to start strong and keep content updated regularly. So active volcano, raid, lava.
Absolutely.
Very cool. Can we maybe tease a little bit?
Well, as you said, during episode 1, we'll release our first raid for Ghost Recon. So it's a big thing for us, and we wanted to make the best raid possible. We wanted to give the players a reason to build their characters for their ultimate challenge. And since we're in the Pacific Ocean, we felt like it was the occasion to do the best, the more dramatic landscape possible.
What up, Rob? What's up, man?
I don't think there's anything more dramatic than an active volcano.
All the team was so excited.
You noob? What the hell you calling a noob, little boy?
And not only it will be a very...
you chilling? Same, bro. Man, YouTube's just so trash, dude. Like, notification system is so ass. It's like not even being sending out to anybody. It's just kind of weird, man.
The highest technology.
Doesn't make no sense.
Technology. So
bro, man, did you see all the stuff?
The biggest threats and to have
oh my god, bro, there's so much
surprises when you land there.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm definitely buying this, man.
extremely talented ghosts.
Absolutely.
We've got 3 right here.
Come with trained friends.
Yep.
Yeah, but notifications are so bad. Like,
Focusing a lot on the
it's like nobody's getting my stuff.
develop
It's just
your
crazy.
character. It gives you a reason to play more and more and get the best gear, the best elements possible to meet your final destination.
Take on the ultimate challenge.
Oh yeah.
Nature itself.
The teasing you get just from being in the map and looking at this huge cloud of ashes with this storm happening in there. It's
You want to go there.
Yeah, first thing you want to do.
All right, well, I think we cover most of the topics that we had set
But this one
to
really,
discuss in depth. We'll go over some questions. Well, but first, we're going to do the giveaway. So,
Yes.
as a reminder, we've got 3 copies of the Xbox signed and 3 copies of PS4. Again, these are signed by John Bernthal. So, in the chat, if you type hashtag Ghost Recon, you will be entered in. It'll be first come, first served for these. So, if all 3 of the Xbox are gone, then you'll take a PS4. Or, I mean, the value here, I think, is that Mr. Bernthal has indeed touched and signed these at some point in his life, so worth it. So while you guys enter in that, we'll give it about 5 minutes or so. Let's answer some questions from the chat. So, number 1, Matt Radical is asking, is there a Battle Royale?
So right now, no. The full team is dedicated to shipping Ghost Recon Breakpoint. So there are no plans for Battle Royale at the moment. We'll see how the game evolves post-launch.
Cool. So I'm going to butcher everybody's Twitch name. I'm really sorry. By Ariasu. So in the end, can we confirm AI teammates or not?
So no AI teammates, if it wasn't clear, at launch on Ghost Recon Breakpoint. So the idea is really a true lone wolf experience in solo, or up to a full squad in co-op.
So it's going to be that solo operative sort of
Absolutely.
taking on Walker by yourself behind enemy lines. Cool.
Painful, but possible.
So by Bloodshank, which is an interesting name, how in-depth is the character and outfit customization?
Oh, he's been gone for 2 weeks and gone for 6 more months. But damn, really, bro?
But if you liked what you had in Wildlands, you'll like what you'll have in Breakpoint even more. Male, female, and we made sure they include all the biggest community requests, including blouse boots.
I don't know, I saw the chat go wild. I feel like there were people who are just sort of tuning in. They're like, what is that? And then the community is just going wild. You can blouse your boots. Yay. So Insanity Brick is asking, will there be franchise crossovers like in Wildlands?
I'm not sure we're communicating on this right now. Maybe when we're closer.
That's crazy, Rob.
Dot lowers.
Yeah, I
Watch
see
out,
my
man.
boss right
Where
here.
to, though?
He's ready to kill me if I
He
say.
keeps doing this. I don't know what that means.
No, but we have some pretty exciting ideas, so finger crossed.
Fingers crossed. So Experiment 621 is asking, can you play the raid in solo?
No, the raid will be 4-player co-op. It's like the toughest challenge. You have to build your team with you. Choose the best.
Or you can
friends
chat
of
this
yours to do so.
Oh, damn, really, Rob?
We wanted, it's a challenge that has been
Mississippi for work?
so
What the
that we
heck?
maximize as much as possible.
Asim Islam. Rob is one of my good dudes, bro.
So
He's a
you
mod in the
really have
chat,
to
so
organize yourself,
what he
think
says, you gotta
creatively,
relax
and,
and chill.
also, prepare to improvise, if that's a thing, to prepare to
That's my
improvise.
dude for life.
But make
Please
sure
be
that
respectful.
you know how to do your job on each side. So
So it
it's
sounds
really
like
4-player co-op experience.
Communication is going to be very important.
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely.
maybe hold some tryouts before. See which of your friends you like.
Yeah.
So she can get that happy big. Hey, I know that's what's up, Rob. You're like, shh, go for it. Make them big bucks.
Third-person shooter or first-person shooter?
Oh man,
Builds on the great foundation of
that's a good thing
Wildlands.
now for
So
sure.
it's a TPS when iron sights or when shooting, and players can choose if they want to shoot first or third person. Personally, I like to go third person. I like to go TPS.
Even when you're sniping?
Except when I'm sniping.
Sniper headshot god
No.
Joe?
You can have friends.
When I'm
Yeah,
just
Rob,
going
for real,
around,
dude.
You know, all around shooting, go TPS.
Hiding in the mud. So GM_Guy Smiley is asking, will PvP be 4v4?
So yes, PvP will be available at launch, we
Excuse my crunch.
4v4 players indeed. And as I said earlier, we'll communicate a bit more on the PvP at Gamescom.
August. You guys will get more details on PvP. So, Swift you do, and I guess a lot of other people are asking, is this game an RPG? Are enemies bullet sponges?
So, I would say that Breakpoint is more a military shooter. So, when you shoot an enemy in the head, it will die.
Threatening.
Oh yeah.
Make sure you hit the heavy in the head as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You need to practice that aim. So I think that's all the time for questions that we have. And before we head out, let's quickly sort of jump into what's the summer going to look like for Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
But dude, you should have seen the game, bro.
We're definitely excited to share more.
There's so many new things they've actually put in the game. Just throw 2 jalapeno double cheeseburgers. So
make sure you
what?
To the Ubisoft
We're at
on Monday, June 10th for some more reveals.
Boy, you're making me hungry.
Might make an appearance. Again, you can play the mission in Ghost Recon Wildlands, Operation Oracle. So you can play the prologue to the game before it comes out, which is very cool. And you can also earn some rewards while you're playing it for day 1 in Breakpoint. I think that's it. So thank you guys so much for joining us on the stream. Special thank you to Matthew and Joe for giving us some details and taking a break from developing the game to come speak with us and speak with the community. For the latest news on Ghost Recon Breakpoint, make sure you follow us at Ghost Recon on Twitter, and you can also join in the discussion on the official Ubisoft forums. So don't forget that Ghost Recon Breakpoint will be released on PS4, Xbox One, and PC on October 4th. We will see you soon.
October 4th is when the game come out.
Thank you.
Over and out.
Soldier. Trained to strike my enemies before they know I exist. Death stalks me, but I survive. Overcoming any obstacle. Never surrendering. And with my brothers and sisters at my side, there is no fight we fear. So when you take the life of my brothers, when you provoke me, it doesn't matter how powerful you are, I will burn your world to the ground. too. I would expect nothing less.
You seen that? That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I am talking about. Bruh. This game's gonna be fire, bro. You get early access beta when you buy the game on pre-order. But yeah, he goes by Cole D. Walker, and he basically is probably the rogue at the very end. He kind of plays the bad guy, so that kind of is crazy, but still, it's pretty dope. But I'm gonna end the stream here, bro. I'm gonna make another video of this and upload it. I'm gonna start covering a lot of Ghost Recon on the channel too, so thanks for popping in, Rob. Appreciate it. I'll be streaming some GTA tonight for car shows and stuff like that, so you're more than welcome to come and join whenever you want. Just popping in, bro. Appreciate it. Catch y'all soon. Peace.